Good evening. It is 5 p.m. on November the 8th of 2018. And thank you guys for tuning in here. I appreciate having you here. Make sure I don't have the echo going. Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about $12 million in Bitcoin positions were liquidated within a few minutes. It was insane to watch it all happen. And we'll talk a little bit about how to avoid having that happen in your own trading, because it's expensive as hell and really demoralizing. It really puts a damper on your trading, and on your pocketbook as well. So you really want to trade in such a way that you're not going to get liquidated. Hey, Professor Wally, good to have you here. I'm very interested in interviewing you about your trading bots that you have. Those are very interesting to me. Now, before I go on, I want to talk about who this recording is for. This is mostly for people who are just starting out with cryptocurrencies and you're trying to get some better skill. It's also for people who have done some cryptocurrency trading in the past and it hasn't turned out well. You didn't make the money you wanted, or you made some profits, then you made some losses, and you're looking for something really specific and dogmatic and repeatable that you can do over and over again. So I want to make you a promise. In this training, you're going to get some information on risk control so that you can have a different perspective on how to put on your positions and protect yourself from getting liquidated. And I'm going to go over the spreadsheet. 3 of my favorite podcasters live now. Good to have you here, Professor Wally. That's fantastic. And so the other thing we're going to go over is the bull market watch spreadsheet, which I've been updating now like a crazy man for more than 2 months, almost every day going through it. And would I extend the discount code for the book? It's not active right now. It's not working. But what I can do for you is I can put a 20% discount code in the chat by the time we're done at the end. So those people who stick around, I will go and create it, I'll activate it, and I'll share it on the chat so that you can get that 20% discount. And it'll only work for today, and it'll expire at the end of the day. So if you're watching the rerun of this after 24 hours, then you won't be able to get the discount there. But I appreciate you asking for that, Eben. That's fantastic. All right, so before I go on, I want to get your participation in this, because the more you participate, the more you are going to benefit from it. And first of all, if this is new to you and you're just learning this stuff, get a piece of paper and write this stuff down. Take notes. Even if you scribble them and you never read them again later, the act of writing it down helps build neural connections in your brain, and neurons that fire together wire together. So when you learn something new, you do get new neural connections in your brain, but they fade away unless you repeat this stuff, unless you cement it in with a number of different methods. So listening to it is great. Writing it down is amazingly important. Even though we have all this technology and these iPads and all this electronic stuff, writing it down on a piece of paper is phenomenal for learning and memory. And the second thing I want to know is, are you new to cryptocurrencies? Hold my beer, you got to write this down. Are you new to cryptocurrencies, or are you experienced? Put it in the chat if you're new or if you're experienced, because it'll actually shape the way I'm doing the training right now, the way I'm doing the call. So if we have more new people on here that are just learning, it'll change the way I'm presenting things, and I'll get into more of the basics. And if there are more people who have some experience, then I'll dive into some more of the advanced stuff. So answer me in the chat there. We're getting more people coming up and joining and watching right away. So Khan is experienced, and you're a regular watcher here. It's great to have you along. Gandhi, over 1 year. Follow me since 2016. Mr. Bob says skips the basics. Awesome. That's good. Because most of my training is 5 years in it so far. Fantastic. When did I start? December of 2014. I started making my first videos in January of 2015. Purity Page, great to have you back again. So Gandhi says, skip the basics. All right, we're going to get right into some meat and potatoes. So first of all, let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now. Now, how many of you watch the 1 minute bars, the 5 minute bars, and the 15-minute bars? Put yes if that's your main thing, or no if that's not your main thing in the chat. Yes if you watch those 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1 minute bars when you're checking out the charts, and no if you use something like the 12-hour bars or the 1-day bars. No, no, yes. So I'm assuming that if you're saying yes, that you're aiming at short-term trades like day trades and stuff like that. Yes, but not for trading. 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, Mr. Babs. Very good. So you've been around the block. Here is the chart of basic attention token on the 1 minute. So there's the 5 minutes, and this is what was happening today. And we had a lot of conversation about this as this started to come down. And I thought, wow, that looks pretty. And then I went to my view of the charts, and I don't even see it. It's just a little wick in the candle. I don't even see that. It doesn't affect my trading at all. It doesn't change my in or out of this position at all, because I'm zoomed back a little bit. So the first thing I want to go over is that liquidation stuff. So this morning, we can see we've got quite a few people coming through to our Discord chat now, and it's picking up. I love it. So I'm going to put a link in the chat to our Discord. Gandhi, that's very good as well. I'm going to put it into the our chat over on Twitch. There's not a lot of followers over there on Twitch, but there's a couple that turn up all the time, so I want to talk to you guys as well for sure. So if you want to join our Discord chat, that's fantastic. I'll add you as a community member. And you can see here that this morning, Cabell posted this chart, which is kind of ominous. Look at the 2014 price chart and how we had this major capitulation low, and then all the way through the entire summer of 2015 before the big bull run started. And I was watching this like a crazy man then as well, and I was making videos all summer, and on September the 24th, 2015, I put some money in. It was time to buy. And I felt really great when I sold out at about $750 US. I thought I did so well on that. And of course, it's gone up so much more since then. But the scary thing is the shape of this descending wedge triangle and the reduction of trading volume as that triangle is coming to a point. We don't know if it's going to be going up from here or down, but often the descending wedge triangle results in a break to the downside. So we want to be aware that this danger is looming right in front of us. So there's a bunch of chat going on, more charts, and then at 9:25 a.m. this morning, I posted this chart, and I said, looks like a bear flag in the chart. Could be a strong bear flag, but the RSI was not strongly diverging, so we'd have to wait and see. And then it wasn't 20 minutes later that these liquidation orders started to come through, these liquidation notifications. So $6 million liquidated, a $3.5 million position to the long side liquidated, 7 seconds apart. And then just a minute or two later, there's an $813,000 position liquidated. And then there's another $1.1 million, $750,000 position liquidated. All of these within minutes of each other. And of course, we know what was happening in the chart at the time. If I go over to BitMEX and take a look at the chart, on the 12-hour bars, not much. Not much movement. But in the 1 minute bars, as you zoom into the 5 minute bars here, we can see here that prices crashed down pretty, it looks big. It went from 64.80 down to 33.80. That's only $100 drop, but $12 million worth of trades were liquidated right there in that. Because, you know the reason why? They are trading with too large of leverage with their stop losses too close to the market. They think that's a safe way to trade, by putting your stops up close to the market. where, of course, the idea is to have on a small position with your stops far enough away that you are not going to be hit by these waves, but you're going to wait, and you're going to wait for the tide to come in, the ocean tide to come in, rather than trying to surf every single wave coming in. And so one of the things that I try to teach is that we are doing the simple trading plan. I call it because it's very simple. And it has 3 rules. We're looking for the break of the downtrend line. Had it right there. So that's one of our things that we're looking for. The second thing that we're looking for is the break higher out of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Here's the number 1 point. Here's the number 2. I ignore the wicks and the candles. Then here's the number 3 point. And prices are on the edge of breaking out of that number 2 point. We could say that it's up here. You might say it's right along these candle wicks. And the third thing we're looking for is this exponential moving average to cross over. And it's very close. And so it would be absolutely easy to be jumping in as prices are doing this, only to be wrecked in a short period of time if your stop losses are too close and you're trading with too large of leverage. So your stop loss ideally has to be down below the number 3 point, which means that you have to leave your position with small enough that you can take this pain all the way down to the number 3 point where you get stopped out down there, and it doesn't ruin any more than 2% of your entire account. So you have to gauge your position size according to how much money you have. So if you don't have much money, you're not going to make more money by taking high leverage. Hey, Yosef, thanks for joining us. I appreciate having you here. So this is a real key thing. And the second part of the risk control strategy is that you are going to get out of a position if it doesn't prove you correct. So you don't hold on to something if it doesn't prove you correct. Then that's rule number 1. The second rule is, hey Barry, good to have you here. Old Scott. So we got rule number 1, assume that you were wrong when you put on a trade. Hey Dan, hey AOL Chandra, good to have you here as well. The whole crew is here. This is turning into a party. Now I'll start again. Rule number 1, assume you are wrong and reduce or remove your position if it doesn't prove you correct immediately. And if you're trading close to the market, like if it's not proving you correct in 30 minutes, get out of the trade, take your loss, reposition, rethink it. Then the second rule is to add on to your position correctly without exception. So if you are right, you add on. If you are wrong, you take that trade off. That way you have a very small loss because you had a small bit of your position on. And when you are right, you add on to it to reinforce your correct thinking and so that your winners are bigger. So there's some real statistical analysis there that helps shift the odds in your favor. And you can do calculations on the percentage chance of your risk of ruin. What kind of percentage chance are you going to get cleaned out and killed and wrecked in the markets? The higher leverage you trade, the more certain it is that you are going to get wrecked. And I have a personal conspiracy theory that there are artificial intelligence, and actually it's hard to call them artificial intelligence anymore, the way these computer programs are running with such big data. So they take all of the information from all the exchanges, right? If I click on this button here, we can see the order book, basically, how many orders there are above the market and how many orders there are below the market. And the automated trading bots take this information from all of the exchanges all at the same time. They add it all together and they can see exactly how much they have to sell to hit everybody's stop losses. And then when they do hit everybody's stop losses, the market gets hit down even harder, because when those $12 million in positions are being liquidated, they're long positions. To get out of a long position, you have to sell. The market's already going down. There's no buy orders coming in. So when you sell, it just spikes everything way down to a mathematically predictable place where the bots already have their buy orders in place. They're waiting. You ever see a pod of killer whales go hunting? They all work together and they've got one of the or two of the killer whales sitting right where the prey is going to land, and they're waiting. They know what the other killer whales are going to do, and they clean up. And so to reduce the risk of getting yourself liquidated, you're going to use rule number 1, which is to assume that you are wrong unless the market proves you correct. You're going to reduce or remove your position. And rule number 2, which is to say you have to add on to a position when you're correct. And that means you cannot put all of your money into a trade when you're first starting. You're going to start off with a bit of your trade and you're going to add on to it when it finally does prove you correct. And then of course we're using the simple trading plan, which uses the 12-hour bars. And so we're stepping away from where the bots can reach us easily. They can more easily move the markets in that range of $100 and liquidate people who are trading improperly. And I gotta say, it does blow me away that somebody with millions of dollars hasn't taken the time to take the education about basic risk control. It's amazing. But there it is. You'd think that people have that much money would be the educated people in trading, but it may appear that it's not true. Now, the next thing I want to go over and share with you guys is an interview where we had a conversation in our live voice chat. We're starting weekly live voice chats with people who have purchased the book or people who have taken the course. And you can join into this private area. And last night was fantastic. I stayed up way past my bedtime talking to people from all around the world. It was amazing. There's people from Australia, there was people from Argentina, from Mexico, from Bermuda, from United States, from Canada, all of us talking back and forth. And I did some editing of that 2.5-hour conversation because Angelo was talking about his initial experiences with trading. And I think it's important for everybody who's starting out in trading. I'm going to share that in the chat so that you can go and listen to that later. It's a 13-minute conversation. And I'd love your comments under that to let me know if that's something that you've experienced as well. Then the next part here is I want to talk about a post that BCT Kyle did, I don't know when, 8 months ago. He asked, "What is your biggest struggle in trading cryptocurrency?" And below his Twitter tweet, there was 67 replies at that time. And I made a blog post about it so that I could refer to it later. And it's not knowing how to get into it. Information's not complete. I love the crypto. He can't get rid of it for a profit, so he's a holder. Here's another one who's a holder. He can't. His biggest struggle is wish I could get into trading. Greed and over leverage. So Mr. DJ Davenport 2 might be one of those people who has been liquidated in the past because he's using too much leverage. Here's another one. Man, the market's causing heart palpitations. I almost feel like constant anxiety attacks, even though when he's holding a winning trade. And we talk about that in our conversation with Angelo. So there might be some insights in that conversation that will be helpful if you're feeling these kind of things as well. So doing TA by myself, then he sees somebody else's technical analysis that contradicts him, and it's hard for him to hold to his own research. Really a fantastic conversation here. And if you were wanting to learn more about that, I'll put a post below the description in the video later. And Eben says, "My problem is not knowing when to get out." I love it. That's fantastic. Here's another one. BTC Kyle says that technical analysis is useless sometimes. Chaos is the better way to describe the markets. But this is probably true if you're zooming into those 5-minute, 1-minute, and 15-minute bars. Step away from the 15-minute bars. It's really important. So now, Eben, we'll go over some of the details. I want you to head over to IntroToCryptos.ca and put your email in there to subscribe, because I have a presentation there that goes over the bull market mega study from 2018, where I've got more than 200 screenshots here of all of the markets using the simple trading plan to show what they could have earned if you had bought in and sold out at the perfect times that these trading signals were demonstrated. And when I say the perfect times, you see the buy signal is here on March the 24th, but the exit signal is after the top formation on the way down on the other side when these moving averages cross over. So this was 2,448% gain, and probably half of what you could have made if you would have sold out at the ideal top. nothing ever works ideal. So we don't want to get in at the very bottom. We want to wait for that moving average to cross over. And we don't want to get out at the very top. We want to wait for it to top out and come down the other side, because what if it's going to go up more? You don't want to get out early and get out too early and then miss out. And so having this moving average crossover as a filter helps keep you in when things are going crazy. So let's take a look at a current example right now. We were just looking at it a second ago, which is a basic attention token. It's getting a lot of press. It's really moving around a lot. If I'm looking at the what is this, 15-minute bars, I'm likely to panic and jump out on this. And I may miss out on the huge move that is likely still to come. But if we're using the 12-hour bars and our moving averages, waiting for that top formation to actually confirm, we're not going to get out at the top. We're going to be getting out after the top as it's coming back down. We may not make as much profit, but you're not spending the time. You're not getting that worry. Awesome. I'm glad you watched that video. Woohoo, that's fantastic. And so this kind of approach I'm hoping to share with you so that it'll help you. But every time I go over this and over this and over this, it's reinforcing it in my own mind and helping me stick to becoming a better trader as well all the time. And so I love going over this stuff and repeating it. Soon I'm going to have another special report that I'm working on right now, which is the best Binance coins under 50 cents. And I thought, oh, I'll just whip up this report. It'll be fantastic. But there's 82 coins that are below 50 cents. And so I broke them into the high market cap coins and the low market cap coins. I have a link to all the sheets. I have a link to all of their markets on Binance. I have a link to all of their coin market cap data. And I started collecting what their coin market cap was at the time, their starting Bitcoin value, their starting US dollar value. And I'm going through and putting this report together, and I'm looking forward to sharing it. I thought it would be a lot quicker to do, but I probably still have 6 or 8 hours of pretty tedious data collection to put it all together so that I can then sort them according to the simple trading plan signal. What percentage gain did they do in the past compared to where they are now? So let's take one that went up 800% change in range, and this isn't good to do. I'll go to the actual chart. That was Aeon, BTC. So this coin has done an 800% change in prices over the last year, from where it's been up to down to where it is now. And I'm going through them all to say, what kind of potential range do they have? If it's dropped that much, it's got the potential to go back up. And so I'm checking out and doing that data analysis. And I'm keen to get that out to you. Watch for your email, watch for that report to be coming up. That's all the stuff that's coming up. Now, the basics, the spreadsheet. Oh yeah. And the risk disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and these are not trade picks for that I'm recommending you buy into. Often when I say, look, I've just bought into this coin, it goes down immediately. The moment I say that, you can like say it on the chart. This is where I announced it, and then down it went. So if you're looking at the short-term charts, the 15-minute bars, you'll get killed. And so these are the commentary based on hypothetical performance, and it's just my own trading journal that I hope it helps you. There is a link to this spreadsheet down below the video. And I thought I had a link right handy here that I could share, but it's not coming up to my eye. Okay, the link is down below the video in the description. You can find it there for now. I don't have it prepared. Now, the rest of this video is less exciting. It takes some time to go through each of these. So what I'm going to do is drag this off to the side so that I can quickly go back and forth between the chart and the spreadsheet. There's the Binance coin, the bull market research spreadsheet, the podcast, and now we're back to the chart. And if you haven't already, check out multicoincharts.com. This is really handy. I'll put this tool in there. I love watching it because you can just see 4 charts at the same time. And I'm lucky, I've got a 6-monitor setup, so I can put 4 different charts on 4 different monitors, and I'm watching, you know, a dozen markets all at the same time with just a blink of the eye. It's great. Now, the main thing that I've been studying is the bull market watch. And what we're trying to do is to identify when the bull market is actually here. And I've been trying to do that with this chart here. So I'm charting out how many positive signals there are, how many negative signals there are, and I'm anticipating that there will be a whole bunch more positive all the time as the bull market is really coming in. And if it isn't, and we're hitting a top and it's going to be going down, right? If Bitcoin does go out of this descending wedge triangle and does a bungee jump, all of the alts are going to suffer. It may only be temporary, but they are going to take a beating. And I want to know that. I don't want to have myself get blindsided. And if I can help you guys as well, then I'm serving a purpose in the world that's better than just my what I'm doing with people I can reach in person. If I can do this online and help other people that I'd never get a chance to meet in person, I feel like I'm doing better in the world. So let's start off, go to Poloniex, take a look at the chart for Ardor. We're going to zoom into the 3-month view, and we can see that this has been a cold fish for a while. We had the bottom formation, we had the moving average crossover, it looked like a buy, and then it turned into a cold fish. It came down and started showing some strength, and it's bouncing around here. And so now it's inside another new number 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So this would be the number 3 point, both of those spots. We have a 1 here, we have a number 2 here. And so when the prices do come back above this level and the moving averages are crossing over, then it'll be another buy signal opportunity. And so right now the market in the spreadsheet is marked as neutral. It's just got no color code to the bar. It's just neutral. It's not near breaking out. It's not near failing down to past the historical lows. So it's sort of just in the middle. Neutral is what I'm calling it. Now, basic attention token, we were just talking about that. It was a buy signal back here, and it still holds as a buy signal. There's nothing to do because we're waiting for that long-term trend. If we go back to that other bull market sheet that I've just closed, when we look at any of those screenshots, we can see that it was months from March until July that we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And because we were waiting for these moving averages to cross over, there was lots of times prices came up and then came back down and then they continued to go up. And the moving averages didn't cross over, so we just watch it. We just sit and watch it. And actually looking for a place to add on to your trade. When it comes back down and it makes an internal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, this is an opportunity to add on to the trade. You're already correct. You're in the profit. You want to be more profitable. Greed and fear, right? The successful traders feel greed and fear too, but they feel it at opposite times to the unsuccessful traders. So an unsuccessful trader will have a position, put it on, and they'll hold it. It starts to go against them and they're holding it and they're feeling greedy. They feel they've got a better deal now that the price is lower. Whereas the successful trader, as soon as that trade starts going against him, he's feeling fearful and he gets out. Now, the unsuccessful trader, he's been holding his losing trade, he's losing his trade, and then it comes up to parity and it comes a little bit positive. Now he's feeling fearful that he's going to lose his profits. And so he takes his profits too soon, and then the market keeps going and going and going. So greed and fear, you've got to work opposite to what you think. So when the market is going your way, be greedy. This is the trend is on our side. Remember as well that many alts can be traded against US or Ethereum and USDT and other currencies, which reduces their dependence on Bitcoin price and the money flow index. These coins that only trade against Bitcoin bases are the ones that are at greater risk of the seesaw. That's probably true. And it is a weakness in my analysis is that I don't spend much time at all looking at a coin versus the price of Ethereum or a coin versus the price of the US dollar either. I'm pretty much this against Bitcoin and that's it. So there is a weakness in my trading, and I tried to figure out a way to incorporate all that, and then I just get this 3D confusion picture in my head, and I don't know, then I don't have a plan. I get uncertain. And so I try to make mine simple. So anyway, that's the conversation about basic attention token. It's a buy. There's nothing to do yet. There is no action to take, even with this move today. Bitcoin Cash. Look at that. It actually turned into a buy signal for us. And now I am zooming in a little bit because the hard fork is coming up. So people bought into it to have the coin in hand for when the hard fork happens. And then when that hard fork happens, this going right to the ground again, as far as I can tell. And sometimes I do zoom in on the charts like this. What are we looking at? The 1 hour bars. And look at the RSI showing this divergence from the price. And we're seeing a head and shoulders top formation shape up here. Here's the shoulder. Here's the head, which shows us the 1, 2, 3 top. And here's the other shoulder, which is the larger 1, 2, 3 top. So we've got a really nice support and resistance line right here. A break below that for me is get out territory. Even a break below this trend line that blasted off. I don't have long-term view of this coin itself. So I have a number of different trading strategies, not just the simple trading plan. And I try to focus on just the simple trading plan here, but sometimes I go off like I just did here. On CoinMarketCap, go to markets and see the multiple bases. If it's all BTC, then BTC rise will dramatically affect the price. I agree, you are probably right. And so if I bring up CoinMarketCap, drag that over, and where do I see what it's trading in versus good? I know Cardano will have, and I know that it shows the US dollar value as the coin market cap, but USD, Ethereum, USDT, Euro dollar, Ethereum, am I doing this right? BNB. So it trades against a lot of different pairs here. And with more stable coins coming in, quote unquote stable coins, because they're based against fiat, which is constantly deflating in value. So I don't know how stable they are. So if Professor Wally's tip there about the more bases, more different places you can trade that against is helpful to you, then incorporate that. And I'd like to hear more about that in our Discord chat if you haven't joined there already. That would be something I'd be interested in talking more about, because it's something that it's a weakness of mine. And anytime I can get a conversation going that helps me overcome my own weaknesses, I want to know it, because I want to be profitable. And if you've been watching, you may know, I made what I call a $500,000 mistake in my trading in 2017, because I would have made $1 million instead of the 500,000 I did. I would have doubled my money if I'd have had one thing different in my trading, one assumption, one piece of information. And I'm trying to now bring up Bitcoin and take a look at this at the same time as I'm going on. It's kind of making a little bit of a bowl shape here, and I'm going to leave it marked as an alert in the sheet here. I think it may do something. Now Bitcoin, we already know, we looked whoops, we'll go to Bitfinex and take a look. We already took a look at this in the 3-month view, zoom back, and we can see the downtrend line was broken. We can see that there's a little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up here, but the moving averages have not crossed over yet. So it is still an alert actually in the simple trading plan, but not a buy signal. Damon, yes, we'll definitely get to Litecoin. We're gonna work our way through the whole list now, and so I'm going through the list from the top to the bottom, and I'm going through each one, and I'm marking it off in the spreadsheet as to whether or not it is a buy signal, neutral, an alert, a near fail, or a fail, and I'm color coding them. The other one we have here is a dead fish, something that was a buy that's turned into a don't hold on to me for right now move. And we also have some coins that are add-ons, so that we've already identified that the price has gone up, it's come back and made a consolidation where we could add on to that position. So we're tracking this all over time. And so I'm gonna whip through this now. BitShares. BitShares is a near fail. And that's too bad because I purchased some of it and it's gone into a near fail. Nasty. And I actually purchased in right in there, or maybe it was here, but still this is not proving me correct. I've got to reduce or remove my position now, and it's a near fail, which means that it is nearly going down past these lows that it was before. And the more of these markets that are making a descending wedge triangle and dying here, the more indication that we have that the whole market is going to go down more. So that's important to track. That's important to track. We saw something like that here in December, last December, when we had the nice bottom formation all the way through October, November. It was starting to look a little bit good here, and then everything got hammered before the big run up. So it may be getting hammered before the big run up, or it could be getting hammered and then going to go down further. There's no way to predict it from here, which is why you've got to reduce or remove your position if it's not proving you correct. Since this has not proven me correct, I've got to reduce or remove my position on that trade. And it isn't easy to do because you have to take that loss. But fortunately, I didn't put on all of my position at the start. What does alert mean? Alert means it's almost breaking out of the signals for the simple trading plan. So I'll go over a couple of them that are alerts here. What are we looking at? Burst coin. I missed BNT. Anyway, Burst coin was a near fail because it was right along these edges, and it's been a near fail for a while, and it's not turned around enough yet to pull itself up out of a near fail position. I'm going to leave it marked as a near fails. And then I'm going to go back to BNT, which I had skipped. 3-month view, bring it back. This one I marked as an alert because we have the 1, 2, 3 bottom. Here's the number 1 spot, the lowest price it's been in the downtrend. Then it comes up and prices fade back, so this becomes the number 2 point. Here's our potential number 3. And it's not proven to be the number 3 until prices break above the number 2, because it still could go sideways for longer from here. So if prices were to come down just a little bit lower and then bounce around and go up, then this lower position would be our number 3. So right now, since we're in the middle, it's the potential number 3, and we'll see if prices take off from here. That'll prove this was the actual number 3. And that's how you sort of track that 1, 2, 3 bottom. And this is an alert because we have 2 of the 3 simple trading plan conditions are met. We have the break of the downtrend line, and we have the moving average crossover here. But we don't have the break above the number 2 point. And so it's an alert to let you know that it could be getting ready, but it's not made the signal yet. All 3 things have to be together for that signal to be active. Clam coins making this bowl-shaped formation with a little bit of a downtrend here. This could be a cup with handle formation. A cup with handle formation. Cup with handle formation. Give me a picture. Here we go. Cup with handle formation. There's our cup, there's the handle, and we'll see as this plays out over time if that's actually what is going on with clam. It looks like it. That would be pretty cool. And it's at historical lows. We've got some of these wicks to the downside, but there's still lots of room for this coin to go down. It's at 26,000 Satoshi. Lots of room for it to go down from here. So this would be a tricky one. It hasn't made the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It hasn't broken the downtrend line, and it hasn't made the moving averages cross over. So it doesn't fit the simple trading plan. And I marked it as an alert because it was making this little bit of a bottom. The moving averages were coming close, but now that it's failed back, I'm going to leave it just as neutral and not marked as an alert. Can I check PCP, please? That is practicing my alliteration. I will check PCP. We're looking at Civic Coin. This one was a buy signal earlier. It remains a buy signal. Even though the price has come back a little bit, the moving averages hasn't crossed, so it's not an add-on to the position, but there's nothing to do. It's okay. And then we're looking for PLMNO. I don't see PCP on Binance. Oh, I have just my favorites picked. That's why that may be blocking it. Now, let's go down to P. LMNO. P. I still don't see PCP. PCP. I don't see PCP on any of the Coinage charts. I'm doing it wrong. That's my dyslexia. CPC. It's listed on KuCoin. It could be, but for my own part, this coin is so new that the charts don't tell me enough about it. This is a kind of coin that, what's his name, Iman, who's been doing a whole bunch of cryptocurrency training videos. He says there are 3 things to look for when choosing a good coin. That the coin solves a problem, and I have no idea by looking at the chart if it solves a problem in this short of time in the chart build-up. Is there a community behind the coin, he says, and I don't know. And who are the founders and the development team that made this coin? I don't know. I look at the chart patterns because over a long period of time, that will tell me all those things because you'll see it in the chart pattern. In a short period of time when it's just been listed like this and you know, for me it looks like an ICO that's just been listed and all of the investors are selling all their stuff to take their money out, take their profits out. And so I would have to go and do that research, the fundamentals, right? The fundamental analysis of the coin to really be able to determine. And it's not giving me the break of the downtrend. It's not giving me the bottom formation. It is giving the moving average crossover. So it could, but it's not something that fits the trading categories that I look for. And I miss out on some great ones because of those requirements. And yeah, CPC, that's my dyslexia. And then Domino asked me to look at CLO, which is trading on Binance, though that's Cloakcoin. Okay, I don't find one that's just CLO. Coin market cap, CLO. Callisto sounds like some party on an island. $9 million market cap, 1,400 Bitcoin. It's been around for a little while. It's making the bottom formation. We're seeing the price in, what's the blue? That must be the price in Bitcoin, has been rising, but the price in US dollar and the coin market cap hasn't been rising as much. We see that there's been a nice increase in trading volume going through here. And so I can't chart it properly for me to say if the moving averages are crossing over for the 12-hour view, but it is looking pretty good. You know, if it breaks above this 200, 300 Satoshi level, it could be, you know, something that you could put a little bit of your money into and then add on if it continues to prove you correct. So this is another one that it would be a good idea to go to their website, read up about them, go to their social media, see how active they are, see how many followers they have on Twitter, and see how many people are talking about them on Reddit. Check out their blogs if they have any, and get to know the project itself. So that's a whole different separate set of research and work that I don't be bothered with, because I look for the chart pattern, and then I'm assuming that all of the markets are going to be going to the bull phase at the same time, and they will. And so I diversify my position across many of them, and I'm watching for the charts to tell me where things are. Capricorn and CPC chain. Applying some cold staking, so there's some hype on that as well. BRK on Bittrex. I'll take a look at Bark. I only traded on Bittrex according to Coinigy. I like it. I like it. I like it because it's got some history over the years. And in that history, the investors have said, yeah, this is really great. And the pump was on. And then, of course, it came back down because this was 2017. Everything went up. And then in July, everything topped out. Bitcoin started going up and all of the alts got crushed. And here we see, actually I can drag this back, zoom in, drag it back, zoom in, drag it back. Here is our bottom formation in November of last year. 2017, all of the coins were making these bottom formations, and then they just got hammered as Bitcoin topped. And after Bitcoin topped and the pressure was off, all of the alts pumped against the price of Bitcoin. And so this is great that it's showing all of these patterns, because then it shows me that investors are interested enough in it at this time and the other time to put their money into it. And then, like everything else, it's come all the way down, and we see this April to May pump, which is great, and we see some really big candles of excitement. I like it. And then as it's come back down here, we're seeing some of these pre-pump candles again. So this one passes all of the ideas that I look for. It's got all of the stuff in it that I like, because it's got enough history to show me that investor interest and confidence in it. It's got the bottom formation shaping up, and if it breaks above this support and resistance level, it's all the technical analysis basics in it. So this would be one that I would, you know, salt, I don't know, $50 into it, and then I would lay out my sell orders at just below obvious technical levels. And I'm looking at the chart over on the side to see where my sell order should just be below this support and resistance. Just below this support and resistance, so that if prices do spike up on some of these big wicks upwards, then I have a chance of taking some profit, and then prices often come back down, where I can decide if I'm going to take that money and add on to it or diversify into something else that hasn't moved yet. And I call this the popcorn trading strategy. And while we're here, I want to talk about the reverse popcorn trading strategy, and we're going to see a lot of that over the next couple months as we're doing these videos and we're analyzing the markets as things go along in the uptrend. Just like we saw in basic attention token, there are times where we see the opposite of the popcorn strategy, the anti-popcorn move. Prices plummet way down because people have their stop losses too close. The bots see that. They put their buy orders in mathematically where they know prices are going to get pushed to. They sell the coin until it breaks everybody's stop losses. Everybody gets out of their position. The prices plummet down to the buy signals the bots have laid out in advance. And then the prices get pumped back up. And the fear of missing out jumps on everybody. And the cycle repeats itself over and over again. It's human nature, and the bots are cleaning up on that. So I want us to clean up on it as well on the opposite way, so that everybody watching this is going to be writing stories to me afterwards. They're going to send me an email saying, you can't believe what just happened in my trading. You can't believe what just happened. And I can't wait for those emails to be coming in. Mr. Babs, great to have you here. I'm glad you appreciate it. Now, if you're liking this video, give it a thumbs up. What's the guy say? Smash the thumbs up button, smash the like button. I say just press it very firmly. Now, I love that you're asking me some different coins because I had not looked at that chart before. I've been just systematically going through this bunch of charts so that I could get this graph of where things are and get a picture in my mind of where we are in the beginning of the bull market, or is it a small bull market, or is it not going to be a bull market? I want to know for my own trading. And so by sharing this, I get a lot of benefit because look at the things you just brought up to my attention that I was not noticing or paying attention to before. Okay, Poloniex. We got another chart here that they've stuck in. BCH. Oh, this is the Bitcoin Cash fork things. A fork of a fork, and they're just fighting like kids too. Dash. I'm trying to find Dash. Give it to me. There we go. So Dash is looking pretty good. I put it as an alert earlier, because one of the things I teach inside the book is a variation of this strategy. There's a few new things in the book that I don't focus on here too much. Here's our inverse popcorn strategy going on. Then here's our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. If I go back to a 1-year view and zoom this back out, we can see that there's lots of times where we had investor confidence, lots of variability in this. The funny thing about this is exactly when they had their big conference. And immediately after the conference was finished, everybody sold the daylights out of this coin. So I don't know what they did in the conference that was reduced confidence, but it reached that high again, and then it's been on a steady decline down. I don't know if it's going to be going up or not, but if it breaks this pattern, it's a buy signal. I would act on it. So right now I had it marked as an alert, but I'm going to move that back to a neutral until it's getting up to this range or down to this range here. So then it's an alert if it's getting up to there, or a near fail if it gets down lower. So it sort of changed its rating here. We can pre-trade those 2 forks. Isn't it amazing? I haven't checked, taken a look at those. There's the start off was at 0.8 Bitcoin, and it's dropped by 10 times in value already. Imagine being the first guy to be buying this at the price of 1 Bitcoin, and now it's down to, that's crazy. Never get into an ICO. Always wait for it to hit the exchanges. Investors sell out of it. Later it makes a bottom formation when the project is getting ready. There's lots of time. I never got into ICOs. That's gambling. You may as well buy lottery tickets. Now, Decreed. This is one that was making a great bottom formation here. It got announced that it was listed on Binance. It went on a big run up, and then it's just faded all the way back down. So there's nothing to do in this one. It was a buy signal, and the buy signal is just coming to where it's saying to get out. It's actually coming back to the moving average crossover. And if you had bought in at this time down here when the moving averages did cross over, you'd still be okay. You'd still be above your entry point, but you'd have to have patience of steel to be able to see all your profits fade back like that. But sometimes that's what you need, is that patience of steel. I will mark it as a cold fish in our spreadsheet because I don't want to be overly optimistic. I want to be realistic in that. And since on the 3-month view, and I zoom in on that, that moving average is touching. No, it's not touching. So I can't. I'm going to leave it as a buy. Maybe tomorrow it'll touch and I'll say that it's a cold fish and I'll take my position off. But right now, officially, according to the simple trading plan, I got to leave it. And sometimes it's what you got to do with the trades is just follow your plan. Plan your trade and trade your plan. Dogecoin, there was our exit signal way up here. So your buy signal was here, waited for the top formation to finish, and then you got out as this top formation was breaking. There is more profitable places to get out for sure, but this is definitely when that moving average crosses, we're getting the discipline, we're seeing the data over and over again that it's not so good. So this one I'll still mark as a near fail, and we'll keep track of that over time, because eventually it's going to hit the support and resistance. It's going to make a new internal 1, 2, 3 bottom, and prices will take off on this again. It's a market that will do it. So I want to watch. EOS, this was marked as an alert as it was coming up to these areas, but now it's faded back to being neutral. It doesn't get its alert status anymore. Ethereum Classic was neutral, and it was a fail, and it's worked its way up to being neutral because it's making its own new little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, so it'll remain as neutral. Ethereum was an alert last time, and it still remains an alert. We've got the break of the downtrend line. We're having the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up here, but it's got a ways to go before it's taken off out of that. So we've got this ascending triangle, and I think it will. I think it's been pressed down artificially because of all the ICOs that were selling out their Ethereum in order to fund their projects, and they were racing each other to sell it to get money because it was going down. And so I think that over time this will return back up. You know what I'm doing here that I just realized? I don't have Bitcoin in the background as I normally do. I try to keep Bitcoin in the background so I have that reference against all of the alts at all the time when I'm looking at it. So Ethereum remains as an alert according to the simple trading plan. Factum, firmly pressed. Thank you, Domino. I appreciate that firm pressure on the thumbs up button. All right, this one is still just neutral. It's in between this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and I've got high hopes for it in the long term because it's done some enormous moves in the past. So it can do crazy amounts, more than 10 times, like 20 times in value. So if you had bought up at this top, that's more than 90% loss to have if you held it all the way along. But so we'll just keep watching this one. Game. Ooh, that is an official fail. Look at that. Down below the lows from August and September and October, it's down to new lows. Oh, and it was an official fail last time too. And the more official fails we have, the more our big chart there looks bad. Let's get this out of the way. Golem Network Token, another one that I like. GNT. Thank you, Mr. Babs. I appreciate that. Okay, I'll see you next time. I'm glad to have you here. I'll keep an eye on BRK on Bittrex. I appreciate you giving us that heads up. That's generous when you give us information like that. GNT remains a buy. It made the buy signal here, and it's come back and retested these levels, but the moving average hasn't crossed over, so it still remains a buy. And I've got, I like that project, and I think it's going to make money over time because it is a way for me to be able to rent out my computing speed, my computer power. If I'm not using it, rent it out, make money. Hunter coin I had marked as an alert because it was making its own new little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, and I think that was a little premature when I look at it now. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to move it back to just neutral coin. It's got some maturation to do. It's got to build up a little bit more before I put it back on alert. And this is the kind of thing I would actually like to go back and watch my own video on to say, why did I do that? Now, let's look at KNC. It's listed on Poloniex, but it doesn't have enough time in this sheet to see the data. It had been a buy signal, right? We see this bottom formation. We see the moving average crossover. It did this nice move up, and then down it came again. So I would call this a cold fish. If you got in there with a small position, this would be time to unwrap it for now and be watching it. So I'll mark it as a cold fish. Another strategy is that if you had bought in here and you bought in with a sufficiently small enough position, you would have your stop loss below the number 3, and you would be patient because you're trading with extra money. This is not money you need for your rent or groceries or any other thing. This is money that you can afford to lose. It's money that you've earmarked to be working for you while you do other things. And you're not going to jump in and out of the market and spend this much time worrying about it. You're just going to, you're only risking $20. So you put in 40. If it goes down by half, it's $20 lost, and it's okay. So for my own part, sometimes I take greater risks than when it goes cold like this. Sometimes I'll hold it anyway because I believe in the technical patterns, and it is money that I don't need to use for anything else. It's money I can afford to lose. Poloniex. Back to, I want to look at library credits. Any thoughts on XBY? Right now I don't have any thoughts on it, but I'll go and pull up the chart and see what this is looking better. Now we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that had, this is making a bottom in August, making a bottom in September, and then failed to new lows and became a fail marked in the charts here. And then it pumped up and kind of redeemed itself and pulled back. Now it's even looking better because it's got a solid 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So a break above these levels would be great. I'm certain that the moving average would have crossed over by that time. We have higher lows here, so we have an ascending wedge triangle, which is better than a descending wedge triangle for sure. So this is great. I'll put it on as an alert actually. Okay, and I see that I marked it as a cold fish just the other day. Good to have these things marked. So 2 days ago, when these moving averages crossed over, I called it a cold fish. And I would have gotten out of my position, but now I'm alert. I'm still watching for it to go back in. And I don't know if it'll ever go up to the highs that did before, but if it does, that's insane. From 700 to 7,000 is double. From 700 up to 7,000 is double. 14,000 is, it's insane how much higher it could go if it goes back up to old highs. Phenomenal. Even just $20 turns into a great pocket change. So next we'll go and look at XBY. I'm certain I never looked at this chart before. Certainly not. There's another great example. I love it right off the bat because the investors have already shown that they love it enough to pump it this high from, wow, 200 Satoshi to 5,000. So not just from 200 to 2,000, which is 10 times your money, but up past 20 times your money. And now it's come all the way back down to these positions, and we're seeing these pre-pump candles, which means that somebody likes it enough to be buying a whole swath of it above the market. We have a beautiful 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up here. We've got the nice ascending wedge triangle. We've got higher lows and lower highs, and then it broke above that when the moving average crossed over. All of the signals I'm looking for, all of them. And I don't have to know anything about the project. I don't know if this coin solves a problem. I don't know if there's a community behind the coin. I don't know who the founders are. I have no idea. But this chart tells me all of that. It tells me that there's a lot of people who bought into this. They had belief in it. And so when it's doing this, it's showing me that their belief is coming back into it now. I love it. I appreciate you sharing that one with us. So anybody who's watching, let me put a star on this one. Because in 3 months we'll come back and that will be not 10 times, but 5 times its price. How's that for a prediction? It'll be up to these levels. Canadian CEO Fantastic. Good to, the more that Canada gets involved with this, the better. It's a change of the world's economy. And if you're not involved, you're stuck with fiat currency. You're behind. And Canada is ahead of the game with the cannabis laws in the world. I'm really glad to see that in Canada. Now let's get ahead with the cryptocurrencies and bring all that money into Canada. Next I'm looking for is Loom, and I'll go over to Binance and take a look at this because I know that's where the history is. Not that much, but so here's our bottom formation. The moving average is crossed. We got a buy signal out of it, and then the other day I called it a cold fish. So I'm going to leave it as a cold fish. Back to Poloniex. Remove the favorites, go down to the L's, JJKL, and look at LISC. Patent applications were handed in just 2 days ago. Big difference between having your trader hat on and your investor hat on. I like that information, even that the patent applications were handed in just 2 days ago on that token. So people watching here, I asked you at the beginning to get a piece of paper and be ready to write things down. And I hope that you are doing that. Take this data and practice it. Be sure to subscribe for more updates. Give it a thumbs up. If you want more, sign up on IntroToCryptos.ca for additional training and ongoing email and stuff like that. And the greatest gift you can give to yourself is your attention. Focus your attention on something positive. It's great to watch this, but if you are taking questions and are taking notes and you're asking questions, you are going to learn this stuff better. You are going to benefit from this better. And when you benefit from this kind of stuff, you make money. Money can change your life. It changes the life for your family. It changes your life for your friends. It can change the life for people who are not yet born if you make enough money, and the cryptos are setting up for it. But on a tangent there, LISC is making a downward wedge triangle and hitting 3 times off this bottom, so I'm hopeful, but hope is a beggar. This is not something I want to be investing in yet. It's not given that turnaround. TA equals technical analysis. XRP from Africa, thanks for tuning in. Hope you got a nice hot coffee and you're enjoying the morning and the sunshine coming up there. It's probably warmer in South Africa than here in Canada. Snow on the ground here now. Isn't TA only worth it in high volume markets? No. Often when these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations shape up, we're taking a position before the volume comes in. We're seeing those pre-pump candles, that kind of stuff coming in before the real volume does. So if we bring this up so that we can see the volume in this, whereas the volume spikes, we'll see a spike of volume, a spike of volume, a spike of volume, a spike of volume. And that's people who are in the know picking up this coin, and then they're sitting back and waiting. And then when the news comes out, that's when all of the noob traders, the traders who are trading with FOMO, fear of missing out, that's when the big volume comes in and that drives the prices up. And if we had taken positions before when the markets are quiet, then there's nothing to do. You just sit back and let the market do the work. So volume is important, and it is a key indicator, especially on top formations, and we'll talk about that as they manifest. But volume is not one of my bigger trading signals. You can tell I use it, but it's not one of my bigger trading signals. Especially for this, what I'm going over most here is the simple trading plan. So we're taking this break of the downtrend line, we're taking this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, waiting for the prices to break above that and the moving averages to cross over. And we're using the 12-hour bars so that we're not whipped around and killed by some of the stuff that goes on in the one-day charts. So this is difficult stuff to trade. You can see that looks like a big range, but when you go back out to the 12-hour view, it's not significant. It's normal part of the market breathing, basically. Breathes in, breathes out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And so try not to get stuck on that too close. When we zoom back out to the bigger picture, put on a small position and take long time with it, and you make much more money with much less stress. It's a much easier way to trade, and this is why I'm focusing on it. If you haven't already, go and get the book Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. I know you've got your pad and paper out and you're taking notes for your future self so that you can have better benefits out of all of this. Write it down, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. It's a difficult word to spell, but get that book. Don't get the audio, it's great, but get the book, get the printed book so that you can underline things, you can write notes in the sidebars. And when you read that book, it'll be life-changing for you in that you will learn about the fact that the big money is in the large moves in the market, the longer time, smaller positions. And I'll leave you to it. Litecoin I'm going to leave as a neutral market here. It's sort of in between. It's not looking to break out. It's not looking to dive. It's sort of neutral right now. Would you agree, though, that technical analysis is more effective in forecasting moves of the masses than the individuals? Yes, technical analysis is like the weather, predicting the weather. And I can tell you that in a month from now, it's going to be much colder. It's going to be winter here. But for me to predict what the weather is going to be tomorrow or 3 or 5 days from now is much more difficult. And technical analysis, the way I'm doing it here with the simple trading plan, is looking for that change of trend so that when the tide is coming in rather than the waves, rather than the one storm that comes and makes it chilly for a day and it warms back up, I'm going for the seasonal changes here. So that's the kind of technical analysis I'm doing, and it's not the only kind. There are uncountable ways of doing this that some people make much more money than I do because they're trading with different indicators, but it's a different approach. It's a different amount of time you have to spend in it. MadeSafe coin is going to remain an alert, but not yet a buy signal. Let me take a closer look at that. The moving averages have crossed over. It is just poking above where one area of buy signal here, 1, 2, 3 bottom. It is just touching above it. It could be a buy. It could be an alert. I'm going to leave it as an alert for now. Zoom into the 3-day view, the 1-week view, so I get an idea. It could be a buy. It's showing that it's pushing up above that. And I had drawn this green line out earlier back here. I said, I like that it's coming up to these levels, but I don't want to put it as a buy yet. I'd like to see it come back, do some retracement, and then break above, and it would turn into a buy. And it's come back pretty much to where I said, and then it's come up a bit sooner. Maybe it'll come back and do another one. And I'm waiting impatiently. Mana was a buy already. Oh, write the name of the book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. Thank you, Barry. And I appreciate that, Professor Wally, for the tip on the trying to do the weather forecast. I should have been a weatherman. You can just say whatever you want, and you're wrong most of the time, and people just keep listening to you. Binance. I want to go to Mana. 3-month view. So this was a buy signal earlier. How much earlier? On the 28th of October. So it's been a buy now for, I don't know, a week and a half or thereabouts. Back here it was marked as a buy signal as it was reaching these levels. So now it's really proving itself out nicely. If we can zoom into the 3-day view, this looks fantastic. Just laying along these levels, and all of a sudden it broke above them. Could have been an add-on signal right there as it came back to retest these levels, and we have another little ascending triangle here. This could have been an add-on signal depending on your risk tolerance and the size of your position, but it was a good buy. I'm glad that we nailed that one, and I'll take the spreadsheet soon and I'll go through all of these coins, and I'll go back to where the buy signal was, and I'll take the highest price of that day and I'll write it in. And then we'll get an idea of what percentage gain you would have and losses if we had followed all of these hypothetical signals. So next we're going to look at NAV coin, Poloniex, down to N. Oh, there it is, green. Nav coin. It was a buy signal for us earlier. It was looking like an add-on signal. It's still looking like an add-on signal. It keeps just hovering here, looking like it's going to go, it's going to go, it's going to go. And I think it's going to go. So happy that it's a buy signal and that we nailed that a while ago. And really, if you're patient, then you would have bought and you just sit back. Wait for it. Let the market do the work. Namecoin. It was a fail. It had broken down below these levels. Then it was another fail. It broke down below these levels, and now it's popped up. So it's made a new number 1 point. It's got to mature now. It's got to make its own number 2, come back, make it number 3. So I'll leave it marked as neutral, and we'll watch that one over time. NXT. Oh, that's shaping up much nicer now. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. The moving average has crossed over. We got the 12-hour bars. So a break above these levels would confirm it as a buy. I'm going to put it as an alert because sometimes those buys take off out of these 2 confirmed criteria, and then sometimes that blasts, and I want to be prepared. You may even put an alert in. I know I never use this. Set alerts. Alert me when prices fall below. Whoops. I don't know. So I could set this, alert me when prices fall below, alert me when prices rise above this level. And I don't know if this makes an audible sound or what have you, but pretty cool. I should do more of that. OMG. Also making a nicer formation. It's pulled back a little bit, but that helps mature the bottom so long as it doesn't break down below those levels. I'll leave it as neutral now. It was an alert last time. Now it's sort of faded back into neutral, but it wouldn't take much for it to turn around and become an alert again. Omni is the next coin. And look at that. It was a fail for this period of time here, and just day after day after day after day, steady, fail, fail, fail. Then it's made a bottom. It's come up and made its own 1, 2, 3 bottom. Now we've got an ascending 3 higher lows here. So a break above this would be a buy signal. I'm not going to put it as an alert yet, but it could just blast above that. And there's another coin that, wow, what is it? It's at 80,000, and it's been as high as 325,000. So that's quadruple the price. So it's 80,000. 16 is double, so that's quadruple. There's lots of other ones that have greater upside potential, but I'll leave it marked as neutral. It's difficult. Now, Pascal coin was marked as a buy signal, and boom, good thing too. That's a nice profit. And I'll leave it marked as a buy signal. Now it's got some work to do before it's going to turn into an add-on signal. I don't want to do anything when it's making a big move like that. As soon as it starts the move, I can't do anything. I can't buy it. I can't add on to it. I gotta sit and wait for it to, if it's going to make a consolidation, and that would be the time to add on. So now we had the buy signal at the right time. There's nothing to do. This was an alert last time, and you certainly would have to be alert because, wow, it's absolutely blasted off. So I'll mark it as a buy signal. And I like it. Beautiful that it took this. But look at all these candles to the downside. Inverse popcorn moves. And that may have been indication that everybody's just lost confidence in this, but then it took off. So it's another reason to go through with a specific, measurable, quantifiable rules for your trading, so that when a market is doing something like this, you just act on it. You just do it because it fits your rules. You're so clear about your rules. They're so simple that you just act. This is a buy signal and remains a buy signal. It's still showing strength. It hasn't pulled back to crossover. RADS has been delisted. REP was a buy signal. Even though it faded down to new lows later in October than everything else, it redeemed itself. It made a crossover, and then broke above it. It was a buy signal for the last few days at least, and I'll keep it as a buy signal. SBD was an alert. This has been a weird one. It's always been a weird market for me, and it remains an alert. Coin turned into a cold fish, and sure enough, remains cold fish. Double descending top like that too. That's one way of approaching it. The other is that if you put on a small enough position here, you would still have room to leave, go below your number 3 point. But the moving average crossover here was enough to kick me out. And I did sell what I had. Thingamajigs, yes. Technical analysis is excellent with broad swaths of maths movement, as Doug Zamp shows. Trends are more forecastable than granular specifics. Yep. XEM is a weird one for me. Followed it for years, but I believe it's so underrated. I like it too. And I read up on it and studied it in the past and liked it. So this is a buy signal. It remains a buy signal, but we were looking at it over on Binance, SNT, just because it has more data enough to be able to look at the history of it. And so then we can see that I like this kind of chart where it's shown me the investor confidence in the past at the same time that all of them trended. It gave us a little trend here in April and May, just like the rest, and then down it goes, and it's making this beautiful bottom formation. The moving averages did cross over and it poked above, so it's a buy signal, but it has pulled back significantly from that buy entry. So depending on where your stop loss is, you may be holding it. And if you are using rule number 1 judiciously, then you would be holding it for here and you would get out right in here. As soon as it stopped proving you correct, you'd say, I'm not holding that. It's not proving me correct. So this takes some practice to know when to use rule number 1 and where does it fit into your risk tolerance and your budget and everything like that. I'm leaving it as a buy signal because I want to wait for that moving average to cross over. I want to give it room to come back and retest significant technical levels. Every time I've gotten out of a trade that wasn't finished testing the technical levels, it turned out that I should have stayed in it. And so I've learned to be more patient and give it that room and take smaller positions so that I can give it that room without getting squeamish. Steam. Steam is still, it's almost to be an alert. Look at that candle that went up to the upside and it's pulled back. So it's building up. I know they're having a conference right away in Poland and it looks like a beautiful place. And it could be that they're got some news they're going to release or what have you, but not yet. It's still marked as neutral in the chart. Storage coin was a buy signal here. It took off, it pulled back, and then they had an announcement that their stage 3 of their technology is going to be released, and prices went on a bit of a surge, and now it's come all the way back to us. So we have these pre-pump candles before the news was released. Wonder about that. Insider trading, we don't know. And then it's come back, and then the news was released. And it did a pump up as people were taking a position. Now it's pulled back. So this could be great opportunity for the rest of us to be adding on to it or to step into that market or be aware of it at least. So it's a buy signal, and I'm not going to upgrade it to an add-on, although in my own trading, I added on. Syscoin, STR first. So this was a great one. There's our buy. There's a great place to add on, and it's taken off. This has been a favorite of mine in the charts because of this huge triangle, and it's really looking fantastic. I still think it's going to go from the 4,000 Satoshi it is to over 12,000 Satoshi. And so I'm very happy to have that one and a sizable chunk of it compared to my overall portfolio. Stratus did some huge to the stratosphere moves in the past. and it's got a wonderful chart formation, and it's given us very clear entry areas, even more clear now that it's come up to that area and pulled back. We didn't, oh, it was a buy signal. Really? Oh, that's the 1-day chart, no wonder. If I go into the 12-hour bars, then there's our buy signal. Difficult though, buy signal, get out signal, buy signal, and it still stays as a hold that buy. Syscoin. This came up to being an alert, and that's faded back. So it's just a neutral coin, not down to near fail territory, not up near alert territory. But now that it's made this come back, as it comes up and pushes past there again, it's even more strong. It's a better signal. Via coin. It was a buy signal here. It remains a buy signal. Clear and easy to see. VTC was a near fail, and it remains a near fail. It is really at the edge of almost being a failure. Counterparty, which another one that it's good that I have clear trading rules, because it gave a buy signal and then it's been showing some strength after that. Buy signal, it pulled back, and then strength again. So if it wasn't a buy signal earlier, then it's shaping up to be a better buy signal now on the second breakout. But it was a buy signal earlier, and it hasn't shut off yet, so I'll leave it marked as a buy signal. And now we're on to XEM, the thingamajigs was talking about. And it is one that I was pointing out. You can see the green circle there as the prices were coming back to that level. And as we zoom into this time frame, it's a little wee 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Now it is retesting those levels. Pretty normal. When we get a breakout from a 1, 2, 3, prices will go up, and then they'll come back and retest that, retest it. And if it's not able to break down below those levels, that is very good. If it breaks down below those levels, it's clear point of action to take. Very nice. Zoom out to the 1-year view. Here's the 1-day bars, and we can see this one has had a few of the big runs in it, where we had the big bowl shaped pattern. It grew and took right off all the way back. And in November and December here, this was a pretty key time for all the cryptos right in here, where we had this bottom formation shaping up like we are now. And then many of the coins went to new lows here on the December 12th, 13th, 14th, and immediately turned around and went off in a massive blast. So let's not let ourselves get demoralized. If Bitcoin does the bungee jump and everything gets pressurized down, we still have to be aware and hunting these coins, because they are going to take off. Don't let a fake down breakdown destroy your enthusiasm and dissuade you from being watchful. Back to the 3-month view. This is great, though it's not time to do anything yet. It's really shaping up. I'll leave it as an alert. XMR I had marked as a buy signal last time. It came out of this little 1, 2, 3 bottom, and I called that a buy signal. So it's pulled back a little bit, but it remains. It holds its spot. Oh, you're welcome, thingamajigs. I really love going over this stuff. XPM, look at that. It's been a fail all the way down, and it's hit a bottom now. We've got a little bit of green candles, so now we can start watching for a bottom formation in that. I'm going to still mark it as a fail because it's down to these March levels. It's very different than the charts for everything else. I'll leave it as a fail for now. Ripple, we were calling for this add-on, and it did take off from there, and it's still, that add-on is still a valid signal, and I'll leave it marked as an add-on. So we had our buy signal here. Prices came up, they did their thing, they came back down, and the moving averages, look how close they came all the way along here. And these candles to the upside were very tempting, very tempting. And if you'd bought into any of them, the moving averages didn't cross over. It really gave us a great time to add on to the position. It's come up and pulled back for now, and we'll keep watching it, but I still love this. I think it's going to go way further up. Zcash. There's our buy signal. So it was an alert last time. We were watching it closely as it was coming to this line, and it took off. So it gives us a buy signal. Love it. And ZRX was a buy signal earlier, and it's turned into a cold fish. I wasn't expecting that. So it depends on when your buy signal was, if you actually consider this a cold fish, right? If you had bought in on this breakout when we saw that, what date was that we gave the buy signal on that? Back on October the 8th. October the 8th, yep, right on that crossover. And so it's still above your entry point. You could be sitting on it comfortably and not worrying about it and just wait for the trend. The markets breathe in and they breathe out. They breathe in and they breathe out, and just give it the time and the space to do its thing. But on the other hand, this moving average crossed over on a breakdown below this 1, 2, 3 top formation. And another approach is to use the 12-hour bars as your entry, but use the 4-hour bars as your exit. Then this would have been the exit point. And it's pretty clear, you know, in hindsight, everything is clear. There's a 1, 2, 3 top formation. It came down below that. The moving average is crossed. And in hindsight, it's a valid place to get out. But often I find that the trading by the 4-hour bars, I'm in and out and in and out and in and out so often that I get whipsawed, and it stresses me out. I have to spend too much time watching the markets, and I have in my back testing and in my experience over the last few years, I've found that the 12-hour bars give me that space and the relaxation to trade it. But I'm going to mark it as a cold fish because that did cross over there. Now, I still haven't updated this to count properly with the automated thing that I was provided with this. And part of the reason is I don't know what colors these are. I don't know the hexadecimal code for this color. It just tells me light green. So then anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 greens. I think we only had the one add-on still. Alerts are yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 alerts, down from 17. Uh-oh. Neutrals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's back up. They've switched places. Gone cold, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more. That's no good. Near fails, orange, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the same. And complete fails, we had the one down here. 2, just the 2. Now I take these formulas, move them over, and I miscounted it. I'm down to 54 markets, but close enough. I can go recount it myself. And edit this chart to bring in the next row, A, L, H-I-J-K-L. Now we can watch this chart update as I go to hit AL. And there we see the green has pulled back, the blue has come up, but the red hasn't advanced. So that's okay so far. We'll see what goes on in the next while, see how much further this starts to change. Now I did say at the beginning of this call that I would set up a 20% discount on the price of the book. So let me do that right now. An update to the GeForce game driver Is it ready? WooCommerce coupons. And the date today is the 8th. So I'll add a coupon. And I appreciate that you guys have been here the whole time. I'm going to make it a 25% off coupon instead of 20. 25% off. November 9th, it'll run out. Expiration date on the 9th. And publish. So the coupon code is there. And a link to the spreadsheet. Discord. IntroToCryptos. It's got to be in the description below the video. Yes, link to the price prediction spreadsheet is down below, but I'll put it in there. So thingamajigs, I'm glad you appreciate these live streams. Quite the solitary profession, but it's always great to share views. It is solitary, but you know, the people who are in our Discord chat and stuff, we're talking about this all the time. And it's quite a good group of people. We're really starting to gel. And when we had our voice call last night for the people who have purchased the book or the course in the past, it was really great. It was a fantastic call. We went over so many good things that I can't wait to be editing more of that call. And we're going to be doing that every week, where we'll have the opportunity to have a two-way conversation where you can ask me questions and other people can go back and forth. So it wasn't just me talking all the time. There was guys from Mexico talking to guys in Australia, guys from Bermuda talking to guys, you know, in the United States, and it was great. It's a community, not just a following. Ah, right on. Paid in XEM. That's crazy if that's one of your favorites. And that's one that yes, you can buy the book in crypto. Actually, the website only accepts crypto. And up to 1,030 different coins. Whatever coin you want to pay in, you can pay. So did you get did I do the coupon code there? Yes. 25 off November 9th is the coupon code. Hey Dan, good to see you here again. And it is good to have a plan. The plan is so key. To have a plan, trade your plan. And this plan took me years to put together and practice. And now by going over these videos so often, over and over and over, now it's become like a habit. It's become burned into my brain. It's become something that I act on immediately when I see a trade. Wax. Now this is a great formation and we missed it. We didn't look at it early enough. Even though I've heard of this before, a year ago or whatever, I saw the advertisements for it. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Beautiful formation right there. The moving average was crossed over. And look how it poked above that and came back to retest the technical levels, and then off it went. So Barry, if you were to grab onto this, I appreciate having you here, AOL Chandra, and I know you're one of the people who have actually put your nose to the grindstone and really worked hard. When you took the course, and I said, I recommend that you read the Reminiscences of a Stock Operator before going on, you stopped the course, you went and bought that book, and you read it, and then you went on with the course. So I'm really keen to hear your success stories when you write me an email and you say, you'll never believe what just happened. I just can't believe how this has taken off. That's exciting for me. That's huge for me. I'm living for it. Here's the longer term chart of wax. So it did a good run here, April, May. There's got to be a longer term chart of it yet. It's been around longer. No, that's as seems as long as I can get. Okay, here's a little bit longer. But back in February, there must have been a lot of pre-ICO marketing, maybe is what I saw. And then now it's been listed on the exchange. And this is it. I don't buy into ICOs. I wait till the ICO is listed on an exchange and all the people who bought into the ICO are selling to take their money out. Then we see the project come down to these lows and it makes a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And there's your time to get in. So all that news, all the ICO stuff, I get mine way cheaper prices than the ICO likely. And I got it at a time where I'm like, I hate to say it's almost guaranteed, but it's almost guaranteed. Hey, Irma, good to have you here. My shout out to you over there in British Columbia, and I'm super happy to have you in the community as well. I know that you're working hard on your own trading independently of everything else in your life, and that is so empowering. Seriously, I get up out of bed, I make my coffee, and I'm thinking about you guys as soon as I'm sitting down at the charts and starting to work at things here. Now, one thing I want to make sure is that I don't hear any of you coming and telling me this story. Don't come and tell me this story that you got liquidated. It's happened to me. I've been liquidated. So I know what it's like. Let me go back a little bit further. I want to pull up a screenshot of my trading desk. I posted it there we go. I posted it the other day. This is my trading desk. There's a picture of my daughter sitting right there. It's kind of a messy desk. I should have cleaned it up before I took the picture. But I have these 6 monitors. It's phenomenal. It's a great way to sit down in the morning and really take a look at all of the markets. You can see I have Discord up in the middle, and I have that significant trades thing always running along. Bitcoin in the center, silver off to the side, and then a couple sets of different markets that I'm really watching. And away I go for the day, trying to make these reports, bring together these studies, and find those coins that are going to be going up 20 times in value. Because I want to make millions of dollars, not just a million. My goal is 2.5 million, so that I have $1 million in things. No, 1.5 million in houses and cars and stuff, and then $1 million in trading portfolio that I can always grow. Anyway, can I review XRP? Sure. I'll go to my favorites. I gotta remove wax. Poloniex, XRP. And this is when I was feeling some satisfaction in, because we called this buy signal and we called this add-on signal through this range here. And sure enough, it's been proving us correct so far. So it looks great. And I think it's got much greater up potential, because actually we can see a very much larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up here. It may not. There's no guarantees of anything ever in life. There's no guarantees of life by the next day. But this formation is looking great. And it's done some much bigger moves in the past. And if we were to do a 200 period moving average, so we're really averaging out the momentum over time, that 200 period moving average just got crossed by the 60 period moving average. That's bullish. So the 20 period moving average already crossed above it, and now the 60 period has come up and crossed over the 200 period. So that is bullish on this move here. Awesome. All right, so we got 17 people watching now. If you haven't already, hit that like button for me. If you haven't subscribed already, people who subscribe during the call, you get a notification that comes up on the screen, and it says, dude has subscribed. And it does a little fanfare and a little dance, and You get recognition for it. And I haven't spoken about it yet, but Professor Wally is still our chat boss. And I had that thing in the way of the whole show. But our Professor Wally is still our chat boss. I appreciate having his tip the other day that pushed him back up to the 5,000 points. So anybody who subscribes knocks off points off Professor Wally. If you leave a tip, then you knock off points off Professor Wally, and you could work your way up to becoming the stream boss. And I'll introduce more about that next time. But I am super happy to have been here and chat about all this stuff. So I never take any of this stuff lightly. I take all this work very seriously, and I work every day really to be the living example of everything that I'm teaching here. I'm always honored. It's a privilege to have the opportunity to contribute to your life in some way. And the fact that you took time out of your day to be here, well, it's humbling to me to have an opportunity to have an effect in your life. And you're here watching, so high five and thanks again. I look forward to anybody purchasing the book over the next day. That 25 off November 9th coupon will work today and tomorrow. And you'll get the bonuses of the extra spreadsheets. There's additional training videos that come along with the book. And you get a special position in our Discord chat so that you get access to the private voice channel and the private trading journal channel. And every week now, we're having that private voice channel conversation between people who have purchased the book or the course in the past and myself. And as a group, we get to chat. There's a lot of good stuff going on. And I think it's, for the price you're paying, I don't see anybody else offering courses and this kind of information out there. I follow along with some of the course providers, and I go and take their courses, and I look at what they're doing. I take their training, I take their webinars, and just see what they're doing. And it's quite a bit different than what I'm doing. It's quite a different approach to trading. It's very methodical here, very specific, and put together over years of practice. And I can't wait for the next 6 months to go by, because it's going to be, if it's been anything like in the past, it's going to be very profitable for all of us. So thanks again for being here. I'm going to sign off now, and wish you guys all the best in your trading, and I'll talk to you guys later on Discord. Ciao for now.